J.J. Redick's debut as an NBA playoff head coach didn't exactly go as planned. Game 1 of the series between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves ended in a crushing 22-point loss for LA, and for Redick, it was more than just a loss. It was a wake-up call. From the very first quarter, it became clear the Lakers weren't ready. Their defense, in particular, was virtually non-existent. Minnesota exposed the gaps with ease, taking advantage of every breakdown, every slow rotation, and every missed assignment. Redick, known for his basketball IQ and attention to detail, could only watch as his team struggled to compete on the defensive end. After the game, he didn't make excuses. He didn't sugarcoat anything. The message was direct. This isn't good enough. Something needs to change. And it did. Heading into Game 2, Redick and his coaching staff focused heavily on defense. He called it the #1 priority, and the results showed. The Lakers came out with a completely different energy. They closed out on shooters, protected the paint, communicated better on switches, and played with a level of urgency that was completely absent in Game 1. After the win, Redick reviewed the tape, and he was pleased. What he saw confirmed what he had felt in real time. The defense had improved dramatically. But still, he wasn't ready to celebrate. Not yet. Because in his mind, there's still a long road ahead. Yes, the defense stepped up. Yes, the Lakers evened the series. But Redick isn't settling for better. He wants relentless. He wants a team that doesn't just react, but dictates. And the offense? That's still a work in progress. In his post-game breakdown, Redick highlighted moments in Game 2 where the offense looked out of sync. Especially in the third quarter, where the Lakers' pace slowed down and their decision-making became sloppy. It was during this stretch that cameras caught Redick visibly frustrated, calling out his players during a timeout. That moment spoke volumes. Because for Redick, it's not just about running plays. It's about playing with purpose, with rhythm, with fire. And that's something he's been pushing for since the start of the regular season, long before the playoffs began. In fact, Redick believes this is exactly what the team lacked over the past 2 seasons under Darvin Ham, a true identity, a consistent standard, not just flashes of brilliance, but sustained effort, night in and night out. Now, as the series shifts to Minneapolis, that message becomes even more urgent. The Lakers are heading into hostile territory. The Target Center will be rocking. The Timberwolves crowd is known for being loud, passionate, and relentless. And with the series tied at 1-1, the stakes have never been higher. That's why Thursday's practice was so important. Held in Minneapolis just a day before Game 3, the session focused not only on XS and OS, but on mindset. Redick emphasized intensity, communication, composure under pressure. He knows what's coming. He knows that every possession on the road matters. And he knows that, in the playoffs, talent alone doesn't win games. Mental toughness does. This is where great teams separate themselves. This is where a coach earns his stripes. And this is where the Lakers will need to prove that Game 2 wasn't a one-off, but the start of something real. So what can we expect from Game 3? Will the Lakers come out with the same urgency they showed in Game 2? Will they stick to their defensive principles and maintain their energy for 4 full quarters? And most importantly, will they finally find a rhythm on offense that lasts beyond just a few good stretches? Because let's be honest, Minnesota is not going to back down. Led by a hungry core and fueled by a raucous home crowd, the Timberwolves are looking to bounce back and take control of the series again. They know that Game 3 is pivotal, and so does J.J. Redick. This is his moment. This is where he starts to shape not just the outcome of a series, but the identity of a team that's been searching for consistency all season long. J.J. Redick didn't take this job just to coach games. He came to shift culture, to raise expectations, and to bring the Lakers back to where they belong, competing at the highest level, with grit, with pride, and with purpose. Game 3 is tonight. We're about to find out just how much this team has really learned, and whether Redick's message is starting to take hold. Because in the NBA playoffs, it's not just about talent. It's about adjustments. And Redick is making them. You won't believe what just happened in the world of sports memorabilia. A jersey worn by none other than Kobe Bryant, during his very first games as a Los Angeles Laker, has just been sold for a staggering $7 million. That's right, $7 million for a piece of basketball history. This wasn't just any jersey. It was the one Kobe wore in his preseason debut and in his official NBA debut back in the 1996 to 1997 season. This was the beginning of a legacy. The birth of a legend. And now, that symbol of greatness belongs to a private collector who secured it at a high-profile auction held by Sotheby's in New York. But the jersey wasn't the only thing included in the deal. The winning bidder also received a set of rare photographs from 7 games in Kobe's rookie year. These include photos from the preseason debut, the first regular season game on November 3, 1996, and even images from Kobe's first NBA Media Day, moments frozen in time, capturing the youthful face of a future global icon. And in case you're wondering just how rare this jersey is in the world of sports collectibles, it's now the 4th most expensive game-worn jersey ever sold. Only 3 others in history have fetched higher prices. Number 1 on the list. The legendary, called shot jersey worn by Babe Ruth, which sold for an astronomical $24 million. Following that is Michael Jordan's jersey from the 1998 NBA Finals, sold for $10.1 million. And third on the list is Diego Maradona's 1986 World Cup jersey, worn during the infamous Hand of God match, which went for $9.3 million. Now, Kobe Bryant stands among them. Not just as an icon on the basketball court, but as a legend whose legacy transcends the game. Bram Wachter, Sotheby's head of modern collectibles, put it best in a statement to ESPN. He said, "Debut games are truly unique moments in an athlete's career. They mark the beginning of a journey that for someone like Kobe Bryant turned into one of the most iconic stories in sports history. These moments can never be repeated, and that makes them priceless." This historic sale also shattered the previous record for a Kobe Bryant collectible. That record belonged to another iconic item, a signed, game-worn jersey from his 2007 to 2008 MVP season, which sold for $5.85 million. Now, the debut jersey has taken that top spot, not just for the price tag, but for the meaning it holds. It's hard to talk about Kobe Bryant without remembering the tragedy that shook the world in January of 2020. At just 41 years old, Kobe passed away in a devastating helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The accident claimed the lives of 9 people, including his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, a rising basketball star in her own right. The news left millions in disbelief. The world lost a champion, a mentor, a father, and an inspiration to an entire generation of athletes and fans. But even in his absence, Kobe's legacy continues to shine. From murals in Los Angeles to young players emulating his famous Mamba mentality, his influence is everywhere. And now, this jersey, this simple piece of fabric soaked in meaning, stands as a reminder of where it all began. It represents the day Kobe Bryant stepped onto an NBA court for the very first time, full of ambition, fearless, and ready to take on the world. It represents a young man with a number 8 on his back, who would go on to win 5 NBA championships, become an 18-time All-Star, an MVP, and ultimately one of the greatest to ever play the game. For collectors, this jersey is rare. For fans, it's sacred. And for the history of basketball, it's eternal. So while the price tag may say $7 million, the real value? That's something you just can't put a number on. The Los Angeles Lakers are heating up, and their recent performances have been catching the attention of everyone around the league. Luka Doncic is on fire, continuing to dazzle with his scoring and playmaking ability. LeBron James is still showing no signs of slowing down as he defies Father Time, and the Lakers are climbing the ranks with each victory. The team is looking stronger than ever, and the buzz around them is palpable. But despite all the success, there's a quiet issue that's been brewing behind the scenes: the bench. When you look beyond the superstar duo of Luka and LeBron, there's a noticeable lack of reliable support from the rest of the roster. The depth simply hasn't been as consistent as needed to make a legitimate championship run. This is where a potential blockbuster trade could come into play and change everything for the Lakers. The front office, led by GM Rob Pelinka, may be eyeing a major acquisition to address this issue. That player could be none other than Utah Jazz star Lauri Markkanen. Yes, you read that correctly. The Finnish power forward, who has been turning heads with his impressive performances in Utah, might soon be donning the purple and gold of the Lakers. To contend with the best teams in the league, The Lakers need to shore up their depth and give Luka and LeBron the support they need to win games when they can't carry the load themselves. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka knows this all too well. As multiple sources have reported, the Lakers front office is aware that while Luka and LeBron can win games on their own, they need help if they want to make a deep playoff run. According to Dean Simon of the Sporting News, the Lakers could pull off a shocking trade to create a deadly trio with Doncic, James, and Markkanen. So, what would this potential trade look like? Let's break it down. Lakers receive Lauri Markkanen, while Utah receives Rui Hachimura, Maxi Kleber, Jared Vanderbilt, rookie Dalton Knecht, 17th overall pick, and a future first-round pick. This deal has the potential to be a win-win for both teams. For Utah, this trade would provide the flexibility they need to continue their rebuilding efforts. By moving Markkanen, the Jazz could acquire valuable assets, including expiring contracts, a high-upside rookie in Dalton Knecht, and future draft picks that would be key to their long-term plans. For the Lakers, this move would give them the missing piece to make a legitimate championship push. Adding a player of Markkanen's caliber would give LeBron and Luka a true third star, making the Lakers a serious contender in the Western Conference. Lauri Markkanen, at just 27 years old, is entering his prime, and his potential is undeniable. Last season, he averaged 19.0 points and 5.9 rebounds per game. While those numbers were a slight dip from his explosive 2022-23 season, where he posted a career-high 25.6 points per game, it's important to note that he was playing for a Utah Jazz team that wasn't focused on competing for a title. The lack of a clear championship contender around him likely impacted his stats. However, with the Lakers, Markkanen would have the opportunity to showcase his full potential on a championship-caliber team. Markkanen is a perfect fit for the Lakers, and here's why. He is a career 37% shooter from beyond the arc, and that's exactly the type of floor spacing the Lakers need to complement their two ball-dominant superstars, Luka and LeBron. The Lakers have struggled at times with spacing the floor, and adding a reliable shooter like Markkanen would open up driving lanes and make it harder for defenses to collapse on Luka and LeBron. At 7 feet tall, Markkanen combines size and agility in a way that makes him a dynamic threat in pick-and-roll situations. His ability to finish around the rim, combined with his shooting ability, would make him a nightmare for opposing defenses trying to defend the Lakers' pick-and-roll plays. Markkanen is comfortable playing both forward positions, making him an incredibly versatile piece in the Lakers' lineup. Whether he's playing small forward or power forward, Markkanen could slot seamlessly into the Lakers' system, offering them more flexibility with their rotations and matchups against different teams. So, why would the Utah Jazz, a team currently rebuilding, consider trading away their star player? The answer is simple. They're rebuilding, and Markkanen's trade value may never be higher. By moving him now, the Jazz could expedite their rebuilding timeline and stockpile assets that would help them in the future. With a talented rookie like Dalton Knecht and future picks coming in, the Jazz would have more flexibility to shape their roster for the future. The veterans involved in the trade, Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt, are solid contributors on flexible contracts, making them valuable assets for a team in transition like Utah. For the Lakers, adding Markkanen would mean forming a true big three with LeBron, Luka, and Lauri, three offensive juggernauts capable of competing deep into the playoffs. If LeBron continues to defy age and play at a high level, this trio could be incredibly dangerous. And with Markkanen providing floor spacing, scoring, and versatility, the Lakers would be better equipped to match up with the best teams in the league. But the question remains, will GM Rob Pelinka pull the trigger on this deal?